Welcome to this week's Hawk Talk. This last weekend, 3 different Blue Hawk teams were competing in NAI national competitions, two of which I should say, were Coach Schroyer's. But before we get into the cross-country team, we do just want to give a recap on the football weekend. Football lost a heartbreaker 28-21 to Montana Tech. It was a hard-fought battle. Montana Tech was up 21-0 at one point, but the Blue Hawks fought back, made it a one-possession game, and just simply ran out of time. But gritty effort. We want to thank and congratulate the Blue Hawk football team on a great season, especially Coach Stanton, who joined us each and every week. He's actually out recruiting this week. That's why he's not able to join us. But congratulations to the football team, and now we'll throw it over to cross country.
Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, Coach.
Hi, I'm Ben Schroyer, the head cross-country coach here at Dickinson State.
Awesome. And a successful season for the cross-country program. Kind of give us a rundown about the end of the season into the conference meet there.
Yeah, we had a great year. Obviously, our first goal was to win conference meet, and we got that accomplished. Want to thank everybody that came out and watched us that day there at Heart River Golf Course. I really think the home field advantage, if you want to call it, really did help us because I don't think there was many areas of the course that the kids didn't have somebody cheering for them, and I know that really helps when you're racing because you can settle and get complacent, and your mind can kind of go off in no man's land, and if you got somebody on all corners screaming and yelling at you, that does help. So we appreciate all the support we had that day. And yeah, obviously, our men really stepped up, and I think everybody that day set new personal records on the men's side, which is, how we squeaked out that 5-point win over Waldorf. So Waldorf's a really improved program from last year, and we knew what it was going to take to win, and our guys really, I think, our motto this fall has been to win as one, because we knew that's what it was going to take as a team this year. For those 5 guys and 7 guys to come together there at the conference meet and win. So kudos to them. They really stepped up and got it done. Obviously, that was our first goal, and we knew if we could win, then obviously we got another 2 weeks to train and get to the national meet and compete with the best teams in the country. And obviously we did that. The women's race, I think, was it's not ever easy, but if you look at the points from the race that day, we were, I think, 20 or 25 points ahead of Jamestown for second, which going into it, I kind of thought Viterbo was going to be there a little closer to us that day. But, it's why you race. You go out there and you compete, and, everybody has different days. And thankfully it came out on our side, and the women performed well, and we got to nationals too. So,
not only did you have 2 team victories, but Amanda Wolf came home with the individual victory in the women's side. Tell us about her work ethic this year and what she's done.
She's really worked hard. Every kid on her team's worked hard. But I think she really approached her summer training with the right mindset. Really did some things there that if you compare it to some of the other kids on the team, may or might not have done. Summer training is very very instrumental in what you can accomplish in the fall. She's really developed, obviously, since last year. Has really improved. If you look at her times from last year and what she did this year, and obviously going into the conference meet, she was one of the favorites because she did have the fastest time coming in out of everybody in the conference. So that can put some pressure on you. Obviously, she had been dealing with some things during races too, with kind of, I think, controlling her emotions, and had some issues with throwing up during races and stuff. That she's been working through, but for her to come out with a win, that's great for her. Even Christina Herrera, who was, I think, leading most of the race that day, her teammate, she, it was really down to one of those 2 to win it. So, to go 1-2 in that meet, that really obviously gives you 3 points right off the bat with the first 2 runners, and that, that really helps with the low score and stuff like that. So, but, every one of our girls has improved this fall. Everyone's set new PRs, and same for our men's program. So, and that, that's what you got to do if you're going to get better as a program, and that's, what we've done this fall, and the kids have really bought in and worked together really well and done a great job. So,
looking forward, or looking back, I guess, now at the national meet, take us through the highs and lows of that, but also what that does for a program that, frankly, could return almost everyone on both sides.
Yeah, we're only losing 1 girl and 1 guy from the program this year. So obviously both of those seniors were in our top 5. So we'll have to replace them next year. Obviously, somebody outside our top 5 is going to have to step up, or we've got some recruits that we've signed already and whatnot, which I think can come in and step in right away. So, for our program, obviously it's we're making strides. Just getting to the national meet is always exciting, and we want to continue to do that. But we want to get there and place as high as we can. That that's really going to put us on the map. So, but our women's team placed 5 spots higher than they did last year. At the meet this year, so that was a good improvement for them. We only had 5 girls on the line that day. There was no other team at nationals that had 5 on the line. Everybody else had 6 or 7 runners. So, for them to do what they did with just 5 runners and no room for error, obviously, because if one of those 5 has a bad day or, has to drop out or, anything can happen during a race. So, for them to place 29th and move up 5 spots from last year, I could give you a bunch of stats too, but that's, great improvement by them. The men's race, we were just a spot off of what we did last year. John had a tough race that day for him, which he's usually in our top 5, and he was our 6th guy that day. So, I don't know if that was realistically what kept us from being the same as last year, moving up a couple spots, because there's in that big of a race, you got to have as many people up to the front as you can, and your gap's got to be smaller. There's a lot of different things that can play into it. But for our men to place basically what they did at the meet last year. And again, we only had 3 returning runners on our team this year from what we had last year. Basically, 8 new faces. So, and a lot of guys getting familiar with an 8K, and a lot of them are used to shorter stuff. So, I'm extremely pleased, and obviously look forward to next season, and hopefully we can retain those titles again. So it's not going to be easy though.
We would be remiss to not mention the fact that Coach Schroyer brought home Conference Coach of the Year honors in men's and women's for the 2nd year in a row. So congratulations, Coach, on that. But yeah, let's kind of look forward. What can the team do? You mentioned Amanda Wolf's summer program and how that really got her there. Obviously, there's track and field that a lot of these athletes will compete in. Just take us through what the next 9 months, so to speak, quickly are for
right
cross country.
Right now, pretty much all the kids are taking a break. We've got 3 of them on our team that's still training. They're going to go down to Nebraska in a couple weeks and run a half marathon and try to qualify for the outdoor national meet in the marathon. There's an opportunity to do that here right away in December while they're still in shape and can try to get that out of the way. So we're going to give them a shot at that, see how that goes, and then those 3 will take a break like everybody else. But it's kind of a transition period here. We give them some time off to rest, recover, get their minds back under them, obviously, because there's in racing and training there's a lot of stress and a lot of things involved with that. So, but and then track season is it's basically a 5-month stretch here. You go from indoor track straight into outdoor track. So, we were riding back on the bus this past week after nationals, and they're already asking when we can start doing workouts and stuff. And I'm like, guys, just relax a little bit. We've got. When we start up track, you got to be in this hard and strong till the end of May. So, which again, 5 months compared to, cross country is a long season if you count in the summer training. But racing for cross country is obviously a little shorter and less than what they'll do during the track season. So, we're trying to really keep them relaxed right now, trying to make sure they take the breaks they need, and then we'll get back into it. And once the spring semester starts, then we'll start racing for the indoor season. So. But, track season is very instrumental in how they're going to progress and improve. We'll take that as serious as we do cross-country season. And, for them to become better athletes, they get faster on the track. It's going to make them better during cross-country season and vice versa, obviously with the training and stuff and things like that. So, they'll all be running different events now on the track, so to speak. It's not going to all be the same 8K like they've been doing during cross. It'll, some of them will run some 800s. We've got Ernest, who could potentially run the marathon if he qualifies, and guys that run a 10K and different things in the mile and stuff. So, it'll be different for them, but, it'll be still exciting. I think we've got some opportunities on the track to put some good relay teams together this year since our numbers are back up there with the middle distance and stuff. So, we're excited to, and the guys are excited and the girls to see, what we can do during track and, continue to, keep our stronghold on the conference, hopefully. So.
All righty, Coach. Well, congratulations on a great season.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Congrats again.
Thanks.
We'll be joined now as we transition into fall sports by Coach Grappe coming up after the break. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Now as we transition into our winter sports, we're joined for the first time this year by our women's basketball coach. Coach, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Bart Grappe. I'm the head women's basketball coach here at Dickinson State.
All right, Coach. You've just finished what you considered the 6 toughest games,
Yes.
toughest start anyone at this level. Can you kind of just take us through some of the highs and lows of those 6 games?
Well, we had 3 Frontier opponents, 2 Division II games, and a Division I game. So that's what I kept saying was the toughest schedule in the nation, the first 6. Probably the only we went 3-3 in those games, and probably the only disappointing part of those 6 was the loss to Rocky at home. At home we shouldn't be losing, and we only lost twice. I think we went something like 15-2 last year. So that's the only part that I'm disappointed in of our first 6 games.
Now, the next game, saw you guys in Fargo, big crowd, exciting day for NDSU's program, first time playing in that new facility in a regular season contest, and your squad really took them down to the wire.
Yeah. First of all, what a beautiful facility. I think they did such a fantastic job. And then their practice facility, which wasn't on TV, we practiced in it the first night. It was just incredible. But we had a 6-point lead at the half, and I think we upped it to 11 points sometime in the third quarter. And I think we ran out of gas. We didn't sub that much. We were hoping through media timeouts that we could get by. And they did get us at the end. But to go to a Division I school and lead them most of the game, I thought was pretty admirable on our part. For the players, I was very proud of them, and I told them that afterwards.
Then beat Minot State for the second time this season, 4th time overall. What does that do for you on a regional sense, beating programs like that, beating Mary, sticking with the top programs in the state of North Dakota?
Nothing. And you know why? I'm so mad at myself. For the second straight year at Minot State, I got chicken and I called it an exhibition. I could have called it a regular game. And I thought, it's on the road at a D2, and I just chickened out. And that's the second year in a row now that's come back to haunt me. We beat them pretty bad a year ago at their place. We had a 38-point lead. Mm-hmm. And for the second straight year, I kicked myself and said, why didn't you have the guts and count this as a regular game? But it is. That's 5 straight wins over Division II opponents now the past 2 years. So I hope, people start recognizing that there's a good thing going down here at Dickinson State University.
Definitely. Now, with that tough start, we've got a bit of a break. 1 game here this Tuesday, but then outside of that, the next game is that conference opener. Talk about kind of your scheduling philosophy and how that led to a couple sizable breaks after a tough start.
It wasn't planned. I wouldn't have wanted it this way. We've usually played over Thanksgiving, but the problem was when I tried to schedule Johnson and Wales, which the men's team's playing, their coach said they were full. So, I found that disappointing because I wanted to schedule a home and away with Johnson and Wales. So I wish we could have played, a doubleheader with the men, but it just didn't work out. So what I'm trying to do now is, we've been going since the end of August with acceleration, all that type of stuff. It's good to, give our gals a break. They've been going hard now since the end of August, and their legs need a break. So that's what we're trying to do out of this is take a break. And we can get ready now for Jamestown, 2 nationally ranked teams going to Jamestown December 2nd. So we can get some stuff put in and gives us a week and a half preparation.
Speaking of Jamestown, they've kind of had the stronghold on the North Star the last couple seasons. What does the team think about? What's the goal? Lots of veterans. Jamestown knocking them off. Is that kind of the number 1 target going into the conference play?
There's nobody on this team that's beat Jamestown, and so I hope that, right there. And plus, there's been a rivalry develop. Nathan, you were there last year at a conference championship game, how they nipped us at the buzzer. That play ended up on ESPN Sports Center. So we hope that a little bit of a revenge, that we want to show that we are as good as Jamestown. Like you said, they've had a stronghold on the conference for the past few years, and we feel we're an up-and-coming program that can be competing for conference championships. So I said 2 nationally ranked teams. It should be a fun night.
Now, one thing the local fans might be missing is seeing Leslie Bedoin on the court. Had a great 12 minutes or whatever it was. Looked really good. What's her prognostication? Is there any chance we'll either see her down the line this year or at some other point?
I feel so bad for Leslie because Leslie worked so hard this summer. And I'm telling you what, she was one of our best-looking players, coming in. I was so happy with what Leslie was doing, and to lose her was just a blow to the stomach. I feel so bad for her, the team, what she can offer the team. Now, she's going to try. She blew her ACL, and she's going to try to brace it up and play, and we're hoping mid-December, maybe we can we'll make a prior announcement, make sure the public comes out and welcomes her back, but she's going to brace it up and try it. She is shooting a little bit and doing rehab, and we need her back. She helps in the rebound. She's such an athlete. Just everything about her game I just love. So if we can get her back, whatever she can contribute will be a huge plus.
All right, Coach, we'll probably talk to you before those home conference games in December, but just in case, give folks a reason to come out and see the second year of this very veteran-led team.
Well, like I said, we're going to try to compete for a conference championship, and our first part of our schedule is not easy, but we got a game on December 9th, a game on December 14th. You can come out and catch us before Christmas, and then we do have a 16th, the Ogallala, but we'd have 2 conference games on the 9th and 14th that people could come out. And I hope maybe Leslie, get a glimpse of Leslie coming back maybe on the December 14th. Then we're off until sometime into January. So there are a couple more chances for the people to come out and watch this veteran group play. And like I said, there's a lot of people that love to watch them. They play as a team, they share the ball, and they're fun to watch.
All righty, Coach. Thanks for joining us
All
this
right,
week.
thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We're back on Hawk Talk. It's time for our Blue Feather feature. The Blue Feather Athletic Association, a component of the DSU Heritage Foundation, opens doors for student athletes to come participate in their sport as well as become Dickinson State University students. And we have someone who took advantage of that opportunity. Not from down the road, are you? Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. So yeah, not from down the road at all.
All right, well, take us through. I mean, we got to find out how you ended up at Dickinson from Australia.
Yeah, the previous coach to Coach Grappi, Coach Harrison, he was from New Zealand. So I guess he was familiar with recruiting from overseas and everything like that. So I was fresh out of high school. Freshman that got recruited with a couple of other Australians and ended up in North Dakota. So yeah.
What was that original transition like, and how have you adjusted now 4 years later?
It was bizarre to say the least. I mean, I'm not from like a small town whatsoever. Like I have about 4.5 million in my city. So to go to North Dakota and a small town, and I don't know, there's a bunch of things. Like I was on a plane and I don't know, everyone was talking about how many rifles they owned and everything like that, and I thought, where the hell am I? so I mean, but I've loved it ever since. Like I've adjusted, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So.
All right, well, what are you studying here at Dickinson?
Communications, yeah. I was exercise science when I started, but like many other kids, I switched my major. So yeah, I'm now communications with a minor in leadership. So.
All right. Well, when you first got here, basketball team wasn't where they're at now, to say the least. A lot of different things have changed, and here you are now, returning from a year where you guys went to the national tournament. So just take us through what the growth has been like as a basketball player.
Yeah, it's definitely been an experience that has taught me a lot about myself and about the game of basketball. I mean, like you said, when I got here as a freshman, by no means did I ever think in 2 years' time I would be going to the national tournament, that's for sure. But it's taken a lot of patience on like our coaching staff and the girls that have been here since freshman year, and just good recruiting, girls that have come in and really brought a lot of talent to the table. And it's just been a real pleasure to like go through the program and watch each and every one of us develop and play to our potential that I never thought that we were capable of until last year. So it's been really great.
What's it been like to be on a team full of seniors, upperclassmen?
It has been really, really interesting to say the least. It's been great having a lot of this knowledge in the game and a lot of experience with the girls, but we do have a running joke that we're all old and decrepit. I mean, there was one time in preseason where we were all in the training room after a track workout and had ice on every single joint in our bodies, so that was pretty funny. But yeah, it has been good to be able to actually continue with a bunch of girls that I've played with this season before, so it's been good.
The roster has an interesting dynamic that features quite a few local girls and then some from not local, like yourself, talk about how you guys have grown to either share your cultures, exchange your cultures, talk about what you guys have shared with each other from that standpoint.
I mean, yeah, like everybody probably knows, there's a few Aussie kids on the team, and then about the rest of it are all local North Dakota girls or like from Montana.
Sure.
So, you know, it has been interesting. Us Australians get caught up in sharing stories that only we understand, and then you get...
I think we're all guilty of that.
Yeah, and you get caught up, and it's vice versa as well. Like the North Dakota kids will say, like, they'll just talk about girls that they grew up playing in high school and middle school and all this kind of stuff, and they'll have these in-depth conversations, and the rest of us will kind of just be sitting here like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
They think they're
like,
talking about Michael Jordan, but really it's
yeah, exactly.
Sally.
So it's been good though, because it's always nice to learn about other cultures and other environments and everything like that. So we try and give and take as much as we can and share what we know, and we're always open to learning about North Dakota. So yeah.
Well, what's as a senior, what's kind of the next step for you after your basketball career and school's done with?
Yeah, I'm excited to go home for a little bit, definitely. I'll start looking for work pretty much straight away. Like, I'm interested in journalism and everything like that along those lines. So I'll travel for a little bit after I graduate in the spring, and and then I'll head home and see where that can take me. And I can definitely see myself coming back to the States eventually to like work, hopefully. But for now, go home and spend time with my family and everything like that. So,
definitely.
yeah.
What? Who's been your biggest role model in getting you to this point?
Oh, jeez. I'd have to say just my parents, just because I see what they've achieved themselves, like for my family and myself and everything like that. And I mean, the support network that they've given me while I've been over here, like it's been really easy to look upon them and see everything that they've accomplished in their life and think that I'm capable of doing that too, because I know they have. So yeah, I definitely would say my parents.
All right, what's been your favorite memory being a Blue Hawk?
I mean, you'd have to say national tournament last year. I mean, that and getting to go to Hawaii, like that'll always stay with me. But for sure, last year when we got to go like to the national stage and just be a part of it. I mean, it was a little bit upsetting when we didn't progress past the first round, of course, but you know, it gives you a little bit of hunger to get there and get there further the year after. But that was definitely something I won't forget. And that and the semi-final that we had against Valley City at home. I mean, I looked into the stands and someone was crowd surfing in the student center. So, I mean, that'll stay with me for the rest of my life for sure. So, yeah.
I don't think he was hurt badly. I think he was hurt. Minor injuries can be reported from that. But what's been the biggest thing you've learned? Probably a lot of different ways you could go with that coming from Australia. But what's been the biggest thing you've learned as a person about your time in Dickinson?
Just to remain open-minded, I guess. Like, there's so much to be learned about different cultures and different people that I guess when I was going into it, I never really quite realized how much I'd grow as a person coming from another country and studying over here. And I strictly thought, you know, it was just going to be about the basketball and I'd get my degree and I'd go home. But I've grown to love this town that I've been in for the past 4 years, you know, and I never thought that would happen because I never thought I'd be a small town girl, but I really have. So I guess like stay open-minded and just be receptive to the things around you, and you'll never know what you grow to love, I guess, yeah.
So in closing, based on that, how many rifles do you now own?
Absolutely.
Not that open-minded?
Absolutely none. I have fired one before, so I guess that's where my open-mindedness comes from, but yeah, no, I don't think I'll ever own a gun. So.
We're working on her. Been here 4 years, maybe when she comes back to work.
Yeah.
But Rachel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks.
That does it for this week's version of Hawk Talk. Be sure to check out dsubluehawks.com to stay up to date on all the latest DSU athletics.
And check out dsuheritagefoundation.org for the scholarship application.